Today we're doing a deep dive into the Luxe Bohemian aesthetic, otherwise known as rich hippie. The Luxe Bohemian style is very influenced by and inspired by vintage pieces, one-of-a-kind pieces, art pieces, and craft pieces. And since I'm into vintage and I'm a vintage jewelry expert, everything that I'm showing you today is vintage, and it will either be available in an auction that's upcoming, in a pop-up sale that's upcoming, or on the website. And I have 10 ideas, not just 10 items, but 10 ideas or concepts that function as the form or basis of the Luxe Bohemian aesthetic. Number one is beads. You can't think of the rich hippie look without loads and loads of all kinds of trade beads or semi-precious beads at the same time. I would say the only beaded jewelry that may not work would be pearls. To me, in my mind, pearls are more traditional or classic, but anything crystal or handmade or semi-precious or mineral. And I have two examples that I pulled from my collection. Both of them are semi-precious beads. These are very pretty. These are antique garnet beads out of India. This is very typical of Luxe Bohemian style. They would layer this with all kinds of other necklaces and baubles and bangles. And this is a wonderful example. This is all carved jasper. It's got a beautiful length, and it actually layers really, really well with the garnet, as you can see, something like that. The second idea is anything hand carved. I have some bone and shell examples that are antique and vintage. This one is on the website right now. I love how creamy and clean it is, just with the all whites. Then we have a very fine piece. This is high-end. This is antique. This is carved bone. And you can see the elephants with their trunks up in there. And once again, the rich hippie aesthetic or Luxe Bohemian aesthetic would be to wear something like this together. See how incredible? And we also have this. This is, I believe, carved shell. This is circa 1930s. See the roses there. And once again, more is more in the Bohemian aesthetic. So you could put these two together. That, I really like the way that looks. Or you could put all three together. See the ivories and the creams and the whites. This is another great example of shell jewelry, and this crosses over into handmade. These are a set of three handmade beaded necklaces with cowrie shells hanging from them, and I like them together as a statement, but you could definitely have fun playing with these, separating them, or putting them with the other things as well. Number three in the Luxe Bohemian aesthetic is anything that has a meaning or is a symbol for something. I have two examples to show you that are some of my absolute favorites. The first one is Egyptian Revival from the 1960s. And that is this right here. This is enameled. This is costume. It's gold-plated. It's very 1960s. This was made by art. I also have the matching earrings. Look how beautiful that is. Isn't that incredible? Then we have the earrings as well. Here's the earrings with the colored beads and the Egyptian motif. And then the second piece is so long that I have to just show it to you. This is all Monet, and this is a coin, so it crosses over into more traditional, still Bohemian. And here, I'll show you a close-up of the coin. That's the back, that's the front, and then this chain is an organic bamboo motif, which is also extremely part of the Bohemian aesthetic. Anything, obviously plant-based or organic feeling can definitely be part of the Bohemian style. Maybe not with the silver earrings, but isn't it great? I love this. Number 4 is silver hoops. Imagine an old photograph from the 1970s of a woman standing in front of a sunset in that, paper thin tissue gauze dress and the lights coming through. The only earrings that you could ever imagine being appropriate for that scene would be hoop earrings. So I brought 2 examples of beautiful silver hoop earrings, and these would definitely work, either one of them. They're special because they're a little bit thicker. I think that if you want to go for the rich hippie aesthetic, you want to do either really large and skinny or medium and thick, like the traditional cigar band hoop that the beatniks wore originally. There was a very famous picture, I think, of Angelica Houston with the big bohemian hoop earrings and the black turtleneck beatnik sweater. And something like this is very easily translated into today. It's a medium hoop, a good thickness. Here's another version of it. This is a twisted hoop. These are both extremely well-made vintage silver earrings. Number 5 is amber. You cannot think of the rich hippie or luxe bohemian aesthetic without thinking of amber and turquoise. We're doing amber now. Turquoise is coming up next. The amber that I have to show you is all so beautiful. I have 2 rings and 2 necklaces. This ring actually almost becomes modernist, but it is from the 1960s. And I think this is definitely rich bohemian, but it could also, or luxe bohemian or rich hippie, but it could also be modernist today. This could almost be a man's ring. It's exceptionally beautiful. And then we have a more classic version of a bohemian style, and that is this heart cabochon set in silver. And then probably the star of this entire video, my African amber. Look at this. You just don't see these anymore. This is so wonderful. I got this in an estate sale recently, and if you haven't seen that video, I'll put the card right up here. You have to watch it. I think it was one of the best estate sales that was ever held in the state of New Jersey. It was really, really remarkable. There it is up close. And then finally, we have probably an earlier, I'm going to put this at 1950s, and this is a lovely little amber and sterling necklace, very pretty, and I like the way that this works with this ring also. And now we're getting to the turquoise. The turquoise is number 6, and I'm wearing the turquoise, some of it, not all of it. These earrings are Native American, and they go back to also the handmade. There's a lot of crossovers. This is Tibetan turquoise, so this is hand-strung, handmade. The shell necklaces were hand-carved, handmade. The other turquoise piece that I have is also really special. It's a Native American ring. It's actually a man's ring. And this is it right here. And this is all inlaid. Look at it. It's a bird. I don't know if it's a peace bird or a thunderbird. But isn't that divine? And that is with coral. There's the back of it. And that's what it looks like on. And then this is the perfect segue into number 8. Number 8 is big rings. I cannot imagine a proper luxe bohemian without a large statement ring. And the one that I'm going to show you today is good enough just to be the only ring I show you. That is this. This came from the same estate sale as the African amber. That is beautiful labradorite. This is a vintage ring. That's what it looks like on the hand. And then number 9 and number 10 is more about the clothing, and that is fringe and embroidery. And as you can see behind me, I have this incredible suede fringed jacket, and the embroidery on this is so beautiful. And it's over a hand embroidered blouse with pin tucking and no tags. So I'll show you the jacket first. And you can see the embroidery is so beautiful, all the different colors. The fringe is perfect. It's the most perfect shade of suede, and It blends really well. Anything fringed goes really, really well with anything embroidered. This just happens to be fringed and embroidered. And then the blouse is completely handmade. There's no tags in it. It's a beautiful example of embroidery, and there's even little bullion stitches in there. And it's a multi-chrome, and it has the drawstring on a bell sleeve and the pin tucking. And it's one of my favorites. This is a small medium. Here it is up close. It's a white cotton lawn. And then finally, for fringe, and this is later, this is probably 1990s. This is a fringe Kuba bag. And you can see how well the fringe and the embroidery work together in that case. Coming up soon on Sunday, I may be doing a live. Coming up soon, there's going to be a what's happening video. It may be live, it may not be live. Coming up soon, I may do a live, it may be, no. Coming up soon, there's coming up soon a what's happening at Hudson Vintage video. It may be live, it may not be live, and I'll be announcing the giveaway winners. There'll be news on the channel. We're growing, and what's happening at Hudson Vintage is coming up soon. The next video I do may be live, it may not be live. I'm going to be announcing the giveaway winners. There'll also be a big announcement on what's happening with the channel. We are growing, and possibly also a friend mail unboxing. So subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.